Welcome to the Game of Risk, everyone. I am your host, OliveXC. I'm a top 10 Grandmaster in this game. Today, we are doing Tutor Tuesday, where I review a subscriber game and help them and you, the viewer, get better at the Game of Risk. Today's game is brought by Amoo Bao, who is doing the Round 6 tournament settings practice game. This is on Conway Castle. Fog off. Blizzard's on 70%. That is huge. That changes the game immensely. We have two bots, a Grandmaster, a Novice, and a Beginner in this game. Amoo Bao is a player in blue. When I look at this game here, and I look to see what are the available options, I see the red player bot is going for this continent here. But I'm also very worried about right here is the pink bot right here and what they may decide to do on their first turn, possibly going into the continent here. Now, as we head into your first turn, you're not very well spread out. And a very important part of this map right here is that there's a blizzard here, and as well as a blizzard here. What this means is that, and as you can tell, Conway Castle is a very, very challenging map. Is that this is a one border area. And given that this is a one border area, you control the center of the board right here. This 2 is the most important spot on the map for you. However, what you end up doing is you end up placing your troops and attacking right here. And that is just putting you in a tough position for yourself. The bot could decide to break you if it wants to take its continent back. You're risking losing all your positions here, because if you lose this spot right here, you're stuck on the left-hand side of the board. The other critical thing that we're worried about is this part of the board right here for yourself. The purple player is clearly showing an intent to trying to take over this region here. So if they are able to successfully take that, you're going to lose your 3 right here. And that's going to make your game very, very tough for yourself. So that's why the initial move of attacking this part of the board right here, I would consider that to be a mistake. Because there you go. The white player correctly removed you from this area of the board. I would have either really reinforced this part here, or I would have reinforced my position on right-hand side of the board. Placing troops here, as we can see, is just having you lose troops. But moving a little bit towards 70%, a common thing a lot of viewers ask, because this is more of an obscure game mode, is like, what is it? How does it work? How do you win? Well, you win by getting to the 70%. You can see right here, every player has a certain percentage, like 22%, 17%, 8% right here. That shows you the percentage of the overall territories on the board. The percentage difference for what you have to get to 70 always depends on the map and the overall size that it is. The way that you are able to get a win in 70%, and especially on a progressive map such as this, is you want to try to chain the kills together. So for example, if pink was removed from these positions right here, Amoo Bao, our protagonist, could consider taking out the pink player from this area of the board, chaining a kill, getting more kills of other players, and then going for the win. However, given that the initial moves were focused on going for this continent here, which is heavy by the bots, that is just going to be making you a lot weaker for yourself. In general, and this is I think true within any individual game mode, you need to be very, very careful around bots, especially if they're continental. By placing your troops so close by this area, you're ending up wasting a lot of troops. And look where you're at right now. You're at 13 territories right here, 13 troops right here. All your other opponents are 26. Blues doing well for themselves because they took over the continent. The white player, well spread out, controlling this one border spot. They have good strategies in place. and you're busy fighting the bot, which is making yourself kind of weak, you can see a lot of like the initial decisions of this game kind of come down to either A, fighting the purple player right here, going for the continent, because otherwise they just have an overwhelming lead to go for the win, or B, defending your position as much as you can within this area. If you cannot get a continent within a progressive mode, the best thing that you can do is spread out. You give yourself more flexibility to take out a player for their cards. And we can see here, I'm going to just mute because there's a little bit of activity here. We can see right here that the best thing that you can be doing for yourself is now you're taking the continent. Look at this pink 3 right here. This pink 3 is very, very likely to be going into you right here. And if they do that, you're going to be losing your bonus. I would have rather taken this 6 right here and then moved it forward to right here instead to kind of discourage the bot from hitting you. Then the only way that the bot could hit you is potentially with the red bot going into you here. But again, you're in a very tough spot because of the initial decision. You were going for a continent, but you ended up just kind of fighting yourself the entire time with these bots. So a lot of this remaining game kind of right here is about you kind of just trying to survive. When I look at the other players here, I see the black player is really kind of going all in on this part of the board because they want to take control over it. Because they recognize that this area right here is the one border spot that allows them to win. Recognizing on any individual board where the positions on the map are and what's the most important thing are the critical elements to consider. While purple right here, as you can see, it has a significant advantage as they are getting a lot of troops per turn because they have this continent right here. They are kind of stuck in the middle. They have to take over a lot of areas. They are, though, doing, I think, a very important step right here where they're doing something called a kill guard. So these red troops right here, this area of the board can only be hit through this territory right here, which is guarded by the 9. Given that this 9 is blocking the area, the purple player is doing a kill guard on the red player. So the only way that the red player, which again is pretty weak right now, one of the weakest on the board with, as we can see up here, just 16 troops, only the purple player really has the opportunity to kill them if they maintain that kill guard for themselves. Other good things that the purple player could potentially do is take the black player out of the side of the board, because then the black player will have to get into a war with the white player right here, given that the white player is mostly focused on this area of the board here. So the purple player has a very short-term advantage, but if they don't act quickly, I would expect the white player to get strong and take over this position. Because right now we can see the trade-ins are only at, people are only going to be getting a 4 trade-in right now, and people are at 4 cards, so it's still going to take some time before these trade-ins start happening. But when they do, knowing and planning a few steps ahead about what you want to do is going to be key. What kind of ended up happening because you went to a war with the bots in this area where they're at their position of strength, and I'm not surprised of how strong they are. If I go back a tiny bit here to the very, very first move of the board right here, we can see the pink player has all these troops right here. It would make sense then as they got hit more and more along the board, they would eventually move out to going for this continent on the board right here. For that reason, again, going for this part and is why, as we look at the game board and we see how everything is developing right here, we can see now at this point, going back to the same spot here, you're left with just a 7 right now. And given that you're left with just a 7, it's clear the bot is continental. They're going to want to take it. The red bot is right there. You're going to take a lot of losses if you try to go anywhere. and just you're risking being stuck down in one position for yourself. The most important areas of the board would have been like here, or going to war with purple like here. Yeah, and red just does not like you very much, as you can tell. That's just a bot being a bot right there. I have no idea why I decided to do that. But now, given that the initial setup was tough, the game is going to be going towards either A, the purple player will be going for a win, like I go right here, if they manage to make the right moves, or the white player, given their overall bonus right here. And I like what they're doing right here. This is a very, very kind of smart move. They are, if you go back just a tiny bit, they were going to what I was saying before. An important principle when you have like a lot of troops is you want to be able to control your board. Because remember, with the blizzard occurring right here, the blizzard occurring right here, again, this is a very complicated map. So knowing where the blizzards are always very, very important. The only way, and again, there's also a blizzard right here. The only access point is through this part of the map right here. You need to remove the white player as quickly as possible. And they're doing that by hitting these points on the board here for themselves. Yep, so we can see right here, they're hitting the two right here, and they're moving in. What I would have done instead is instead of leaving a 17 on the board right here, making like these attacks, leaving them with a 7, you could have easily just left this around a 13. So instead of having 7 left, you have only a couple of troops left. I would have left a couple extra more on the 9 and really prioritize taking out this 4 right here of the white player. Now you're doing a very smart thing. You're trading in right away. I think this is the right move because you're about to die. Because again, you got hit very, very hard, and you want to kind of went to war with bots. If you fight bots, you're probably going to lose unless you're making the right decisions for it yourself. I also like that you're going towards putting everything towards this 14 right here. By leaving everything with on like the 14, you're recognizing that one, the pink player can just decide to hit that at any time. You're not trying to put like more resources in a lost cause. Also, when looking at the bot, you see that they're all relatively weak in this area. The black player at any time can choose to hit them very hard, clearing them out. This would allow the pink player, again, on the bot to only focus on hitting you here. So putting everything here is like probably your best spot for you at this time. But again, there's not much that you can do because of the initial decisions. Now, black made like another kind of like small mistake right here. If we look at how they place down their troops, you can see right here, I'll just go back to this because I think this is a critical moment of the game because they're trying to isolate the white player. You can see that they left themselves with a 7 right here. 7v4 is around 90%. I would have put a little bit more because, again, taking out that one spot is huge. Because if the white player continues getting these bonuses, they're just going to be continuing getting like an advantage. What I would have probably done instead, though, is if I was the black player, I would have considered removing pink from this area completely because you don't know how bots are going to act. Since the pink bot now owns this continent right here, I would be expecting now the pink bot to be expanding towards here, and that's going to be leaving this 10 within a lot of danger. And then if that happens, since the black player, again, is only in this area here with 1s, like at this point, they're going to be left with only 1 position left right here, and they can be taken out at any given point for themselves. So now you are very, very weak, left in 1 position here. The black player is very, very weak. Again, in this spot right here, it's in a lot of danger. White player is making a good move, by the way, removing purple from this position. Purple now can only go through here to break the white position. So again, like when they were going here, clearing out the white player, they could have also possibly considered putting extra troops here, and that could have helped them out like a bit more. But now the red player is like trading in. They have a huge stack right here, and my gosh, this spot hates you. There is not much that you can do at this point because, again, the initial decisions of going for this area of the board. I think the best thing that there's not really much that you can do, except maybe hope to get a set on 3 or 4 and try to 0 or 1 card. Hope a player makes a mistake and go for the victory at that point. Because it's very unlikely that you would be able to chain any kills. But you can't kill the red player because they're there. You can't kill the pink player because they're there. Again, guarded by the 12 right here. And black is also being guarded from the white player right here. Purple is at 41 troops right now. And given that the sets are at 20, you couldn't physically eliminate them if you wanted to. And it's not even worth it for their cards. Just look at how much they have and the splits that occur. Your only chance really is to 0 or 1 card at this point. I do like, though, that you remove black from here. You're basically forcing black to be in a tough spot right here at this time. And the pink player could be crazy. If they decide to put extra troops right here, they could go for the hit on the black player. But again, right now, it is so easy for you to potentially be taken out. The white player can put all of their troops here and just be prepared to hit you at some point by just attacking here, 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 or whoops, sorry, here, going down and hitting you. Or additionally, the purple player can attack out here, going down and hitting you. And remember, the purple player goes before you. So if you get to 4 cards and they're at 4 cards, they're likely to trade in and can immediately go the hit on you. Your prior decisions of, again, this area just left you in a position where there's not much that you can do instead of just waiting to see what can happen. As we're approaching kind of the end phase, right here, we do see that the red player is getting very, very weak for themselves. So as we look, and we just move forward a tiny bit right here, the red player is getting very, very weak. So we can see right now that you are at 4 cards right here. You are taking 1 more card. Let's see if you get the set that you need to have. And that is not a set, my good sir. That's going to make things a little bit tough. So it looks like the black player, you're in a tough spot right now. Amoo Bao's in a tough spot. If the bot has it set on 3, it can just try to almost eliminate Slackabro at this time, the other Grandmaster player. And this goes to what I was saying before. Since the pink bot had troops there and placed everything there to get the continent, and now the black player's game is kind of done, anticipating what bots will do in advance and trying to control your area of the board is critical. Both you and the black player, I think that's the biggest thing right there to keep in mind. Hopefully in your actual round of 6 game, you won't be seeing all of that. But now I think we're getting to a critical point of the game. I'll just pause for a second. The white player can win right here. The way that they can win is if they were to place 4 troops here, kill Slackabro, they get 4 cards. They don't need to place any more troops. They place the rest on their 7 right here. This 7 then goes out, goes in, and then kills you. They will get 8 cards and a double trade-in. Afterwards, they can then go upwards like this, hit the purple 11 right here, hit this 4, go back, and then hit this 1 right here. They then get another trade-in. They could potentially get a triple kill right here. Afterwards, they can then take this 5. They can probably leave about 20, make this about a 20. Well, actually, no, probably a little more than a 20, I would say, because there's a 9 right here. I would say make this like a 30, because at this point they'd be getting a lot of trade-ins. Then they can clear out everything in pink here and put the rest of their troops here. Hit the pink 1, They can then go out, hit the troops here, clear out to the pink player, and that would probably be very close to just wrapping up and winning the game right then and there, and just leaving a couple miscellaneous troops on this point here to then go and win the game. Obviously, that's very hard to do on the spot because there's so many moving pieces and things that you have to keep in mind. At a minimum, getting the black kill is key, and hopefully getting you is also key. But knowing how to time out like those kills is critical, especially in the tournament setting where you're trying to maximize your points. Let's see what the white player actually does at this time. So they are placing the troops here, which is good. And now they're instead what they're doing is they're just eliminating pink immediately from here. So it's nice because they can transfer all of the troops down to here and maintain the 1 point guard. What is also nice, right here, if you notice their percentage as well, they are at over 30%. This means that it is impossible for the purple player to win unless they manage to break the white player through their 1 point guard. So the white player didn't do a bad move. They did get a kill. However, there is always a better move that they can make. That was their chance to win the game in style right there. And instead, as we head into the final turns, it's a little bit harder now. The bots are here. The purple player can trade in. If they had a big trade in, they could potentially make a big move hitting white. You just don't know what can ever happen with these games. Always see how, and that's the importance, about 70%. Chain your kills, identify the path, make the move. And remember, every time you get a kill, you get those 30 seconds back. On a very challenging map like Conway Castle, understanding the pathing and movement is going to be critical. At this point right here, though, there is not much that you will be able to do. So I'm just going to move ahead because you just get 1 card. You're at 5. You really got eliminated. White's trading in, and they're going to take you out and then probably just end up taking this game at this point. They have complete lock on it. So unfortunately, the game was not the best, but that's what practice is for. It's about learning and growing. And Amoo Bao, I'm really happy that you provided this game to everybody today. You're a top Grandmaster. You absolutely deserve to be in the quarterfinals and hopefully the semifinals of the free-for-all tournament. And I wish you the best with everything. But with that, I want to thank you all for watching the video today. Please consider subscribing if you're enjoying this content. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. This is OliveXC signing out.